Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, so Cincinnati had a pretty good draft, got some guys in free agency. We're going to take a look and see just what we think of the Bengals. Okay, so first round draft pick, Jonah Williams. Okay, so he torn his labrum. They're expecting a full recovery, which is great news. It's going to take a year, but you're going to have a dynamic player for years. So it's not push the panic button time on Jonah Williams. You got a good player. It's just going to take a year longer than he expected to get him in the game. Jonah Williams was thought of as the best offensive lineman in the draft. Nobody knows if he's a guard or a tackle, but as far as a pure offensive line prospect, he is looked at as the best offensive lineman in this past year's draft, which featured some pretty good offensive linemen. So that is a immense accomplishment. Then you're looking at Drew Sample, good tight end, block, catch, more of a possession receiver than anything else. But the guy I was impressed with Jermaine Pratt. He is underrated as a third-round draft pick. This guy can get after the quarterback, and I mean really get after the quarterback. He is fast. He is athletic. He is strong. Sheds blocks well. How he fell to the third round, I do not know. And Ryan Finley in the fourth round, quarterback, NC State. Wow. Ryan Finley's pretty good. He's a good quarterback. Deep ball accuracy. They say he doesn't have the arm strength, but I saw him throw. I watch a lot of ACC football. I saw him throw a lot of 40, 45, 50 yard, and with accuracy. He has very good downfield accuracy. So if his arm strength's not that good, he does have good down. He can put it out there at least 40, 45, no problem, and throw it with some accuracy. Another guy I was impressed with is Michael Jordan. Played a little center and guard for Ohio State. Very, very talented offensive lineman, very consistent offensive lineman. I think over the next couple of years, I think he'll be a rotational offensive lineman right out of the gate. And as time progresses, I think he's a starter. He'll be a solid starter in the NFL. Tavon Williams start out as a third-round running back. A lot of explosiveness. You can put him in the slot. You can put him in the backfield. He does whatever he's asked to do, and he does it at a high level. Very explosive. The Bengals this year are loaded at running back. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later on, but the Bengals are loaded at running back. Deshaun Davis, better than advertised. Inside linebacker from Auburn, a lot of athletic ability, moves laterally very well, slides with the run, slides with the blockers, and is able to disengage from blockers as he is sliding to the running back and accelerates to the running back very well. Some of his things is at times against a gifted receiving tight end, he can get beat. If you've got an H-back style tight end that's running a 4.5 40, he can get beat. But a lot of guys, that happens to a lot of guys. He's going to be a good middle linebacker. There will be times in coverage where he needs help from a safety when he's going against somebody that is extremely fast. Then you got Rodney Anderson. Rodney Anderson would have been a minimum of a second-round draft pick if he would have stayed healthy at Oklahoma. Talent was not the reason why he dropped. He just could not stay healthy at Oklahoma. If Rodney Anderson, running back out of Oklahoma, stays healthy in the NFL, I'm not saying he's going to beat out Mixon, but what a 1-2 punch they would be. Along with Tavon Williams, I mean, you're talking unbelievable. I mean, just all these guys can catch it out of the backfield. Rodney Anderson does have good power. Vision. He's got the power, speed, vision, quickness, everything you want. I mean, he is just explosive and he reads blocks so well. He sets up his blocks, and you still have Giovanni Bernard and a diamond in the rough in Jordan Ellis, 5'10", 229 power back out of Virginia. I mean, and then Darian Hall, another free agent rookie, 5'11", 225 pounds. The only knock on him is if he's got a hole, he can accelerate through it he'll see it and accelerate through it very well. When he doesn't have a hole, he stops his feet. At times he can stop his feet, which is not good. Some guys cut it back, some guys cut it outside. He stops his feet before he makes a move. He is a patient runner. So if you do block for Darren Hall, he could get the job done. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but at some point in his career, he will probably, if he can learn to not stop his feet, drive through a hole and drive his feet or his legs and push the pile backwards. If he learns that trait, he could be a very talented rotational running back at some point in his career. But the Bengals are loaded. I mean, loaded. And I think you guys have in Ryan Finley a minimum of a very good backup quarterback at a minimum. Andy Dalton being your starter for the last 9 years, he's been solid. Some people like him, some people don't like him, but I'll tell you what, life before Andy Dalton was a lot worse. You could do a lot worse at quarterback than Andy Dalton. Could you do better? Yeah, there's a couple quarterbacks better, but I put him in the top 10. He might be the 8th best quarterback in the NFL, but he's had injuries at the wide receiver positions, and offensive line has been an issue the last couple of years. Lost some offensive linemen in free agency. Then there was some trouble blocking. Wasn't getting the pass protection. AJ Green got hurt. AJ Green is now healthy. That's exciting. You'll see him putting up the numbers that you're accustomed to seeing. He is 30 years old, but he's 6'4", 210. A lot of talent. He'll be good for another 2 or 3 years. 3 years from now, he might not be the Andy Dalton he was 2 years ago, but I think he could be the Andy Dalton he was 2 years ago, 3 years, throughout his career. I don't see him slowing down this year. Another exciting rookie, Stanley Morgan. You might not know the name, but this young man out of Nebraska, unbelievable. Dropped in the draft, a lot of defensive talent, a lot of guys with big names went ahead of him, but this guy can get the job done. He can do it from the outside. He can do it from the slot. Very, very elusive, good vision. He blocks well as far as a wide receiver on the outside. Very selfless player. Hard to tackle in open space. That's how I would describe Stanley Morgan Jr. Very, very good player from Nebraska. And at tight end, you got the rookie Drew Sample. You got Tyler Eifert. Tyler's been solid for years. He gets injured every now and then, but when healthy, he is solid. And then you have CJ Utsumura. He's, again, another very solid tight end. Loaded at running back, loaded at tight end, and if AJ Green stays healthy and a couple of your young players step up along with a guy with John Ross, I think everybody's just waiting for this kid to explode. Fastest 40 ever in the combine. Tyler Boyd, a lot of talent on this Cincinnati team. This Cincinnati team, the Bengals could have an offensive explosion this year. They really, really could. May have to do something at the tackle position, but it seems like you can always find a 31 or 32-year-old veteran to hold the fort for a year. It's just a matter of seeing who they're comfortable with and how much cap space do they have. At offensive line, it looks There's a lot of names here. None of them really jump out at you. You know, you have Billy Price out of Ohio State at center. You've got John Jerry, John Miller, a couple of guys that bring some experience. You got Alex Redmond. Really, you're just hoping for somebody to hold the fort, get better. Don't let Andy Dalton get killed. I mean, with Joe Mixon at running back, he's going to set up his blocks very well. He cuts back he can cut it back into the inside extremely well, or he can make a break for the outside with extraordinary speed. So do you need it? Always helps. The better your offensive line is, the better your running game is going to be. But I think they could put it enough together on the offensive line with a strong rotation by rotating both their left and right guards to be formidable. Michael Jordan, you may see him step up a little sooner than expected. You have Courtney Glenn at the tackle position, and I think you're going to see them bring another. They're probably just evaluating who they would like to bring in at their other tackle spot. And then Sam Hubbard. Last year, stepped up, great season. Very excited to see him and what he brings this year. Former third-round draft pick in his second year this year at Ohio State. You have Carlos Dunlap. He's good year in, year out. A veteran of 10 years, 6'6", 280 out of Florida. And Geno Atkins, the every-year phenomenal Pro Bowler. I mean, there's some talent on Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got all kinds of reason to be excited, and Cincinnati's going to be highly competitive. Darqueze Dennard, not bad, not great as far as corner. Drake Kirkpatrick, again, not dynamic, but he's had a good career. I think you're going to see Cincinnati do better than they've done in a long time. If they can keep Andy Dalton upright, this team is going to flourish. If you give Andy Dalton a lot of outlet receivers, and especially with all those running backs you have and tight ends, and let him just dump it off until something comes open deep. And A.J. Green will probably be healthy this year with Tyler Boyd helping out with all the intermediate routes. You're going to see some explosiveness this year. And how long is the young man, John Ross, third-year player out of Washington, how long is he really going to stay down? I think you're going to see this kid emerge. He'll make some plays. Stanley Morgan, I think, a little bit before midseason, so maybe week 7 and then into week 8, you'll see him consistently producing. I'm not saying, 8, 9 catches. I'm saying 4 or 5 catches. And he'll help you get some first downs, and he'll, be a threat in the red zone. He is 6 foot. He's not extremely tall, but he runs routes and he gets open very, very well. He's got a quick move to get open with, and Andy Dalton's got good timing. So once they get the chemistry going, I think you'll see them do hook up in the red zone quite often. So there's some things to look forward to on defense with a few rookie additions and good draft overall, both offensively and defensively. A lot of running backs, a lot of reason to be excited. Cincinnati, join me next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a good day.